Alright, now it is time for our final Photoshop sessions here. And this is a 2-day thing, and I want to show you where we're headed. It's time to take everything we've learned about Photoshop pretty much and put it to work in the design of a digital poster. Now mine here obviously is about Iron Man. You get to pick what pictures you use in the theme of your poster. It has to be school appropriate, and there are certain requirements on this assignment. So I'm going to minimize Photoshop here for a minute, and I'm going to go to the Start button. I'll go to Computer. I'm going to go to Drive L, the course is Drive, and I'll go to Period 3, Assignments, Photoshop. This is the poster project. Now inside here you'll see this poster project sheet. I'm going to double click that and pull it up because this is where all of the requirements are listed, and you're going to need to know about this stuff. So here we go. It's an 80-point project, and the idea is that you will have to collect at least 4 photos that have a theme. They're going to have to kind of go together. You'll need one for a background, and then we're going to do that masking like we did with Barney. We're going to do that on 3 of them, and again, your photos have to have a theme, and we're going to create a digital poster. Now you can use more than 4 photos if you want to, but 4 photos are the requirement. 80-point project. Alright, now here are other requirements. Here it's all spelled out. I want these to be 800 pixels wide and 600 pixels high. I'll show you real quick how you can do that. Got to use at least 4 photos. One of them has to be used kind of like a background, as a background for the poster. I'm going to show you some tips here in a minute. The poster must include at least 3 layer masks. We've worked on layer masking, and you have to have at least 3 layer masks. Ooh, that's going to take a little work. Everything's school appropriate. The final image has to have at least 1 layer effect. Okay, now the layer effect is like drop shadows and outer glows and inner glows and all those kinds of things that we've played around with in Photoshop. And you have to include text. So you're going to have to use that type tool and put some text on it someplace. A little bit of help here. Step 1, get your photos. Step 2, get started in Photoshop. Instructions right there. Step 3, copying one of your photos to be the background of your poster. Instructions there. I'll show you a few things in a minute. Step 4, masking photos. There's some step-by-step instructions. And saving. Got to save it on your network drive and call it poster when you save it. Now I'm going to get back to Photoshop here. And I want to show you a little bit about how I put mine together. And I'm just going to turn a bunch of layers off, and then we'll kind of work our way up. I started off with a white background, and then I've got this photograph that's kind of faded. Oh, I'll show you how I did that in just a minute. So I'm using that photograph as a background. Now on the next one, you'll notice that Iron Man has been cut out. I lassoed, copied, pasted, and did that. See the layer mask right here where I painted with a black paintbrush? That's like we did with Barney, right? All right, same thing here. Lassoed, copied, pasted, cleaned up with a black paintbrush, and I've got the outer glow effect going on there because I wanted him to be glowing. Here's the next one that I've got. Again, a layer mask right here. You can see it on the layers panel. Lassoed, copied, pasted, cleaned up around the edge with the paintbrush. Here's my next image right here. And again, it's only a total of 4 images that are required. I'm already up to 5. And here's another one. All right, so I actually used 6 images in mine, and then I laid the text across the bottom here with several effects, layer effects here, bevel, emboss, stroke, gradient overlay, things like that. All right, so that's how mine came together. Now here are just a few tips. I'm not going to build a whole poster right in front of you here, but I am going to show you a couple of things. When you get started here, you can click File, click New. I'm going to use the web preset 800 by 600. That was one of the requirements, so I'll click OK right there. I'm going to do a quick Control-0 on the keyboard to zoom up. All right, I'm just going to leave this white, I think, and I want to start looking at my Iron Man pictures. Now you're going to have to go get some pictures for this, so I'm going to click File and click Open, and I'm looking on my network drive, or my drive I use for this class, and you see a bunch of Iron Man pictures. All right, I got them off the internet. So let's say that I decide I want this picture right here to be kind of like the background of the poster. All right, well, I'm going to open that picture up. And here's what I'll do. This is kind of like the photo layout that we did. I'm just going to select a big old chunk, pretty much all of it. Just take the rectangular selector and I'm going to select it like that. And then I'm going to copy. I could go to Edit, Copy, or do Control C. And then I'll come over here to this. This is the empty background, and I'm going to paste it. All right, paste. And I'm going to do a Control T for transform. And I'm going to size this thing down. Now I'm just going to kind of stretch that out so that it covers the white background. Okay, looking lovely. Now over here on the right hand side, and we haven't really talked about this little trick, but I want to show you this. There's this setting that says opacity is kind of useful here. I'm going to click there, and there's a little slider, and I'm going to push it to the left, and you see what that's doing to that picture? It's fading it away and allowing that white background to show through. Remember, I have a white background underneath that picture, so the more I fade that, the more the white's going to show through. Alright, so now I've got this kind of nice faded background there. There we go. I kind of like that. So that's an option there, adjusting the opacity. I wound up putting that at about 50%. Now, I would just kind of keep building this poster as I go. I would click File and Open and go find another picture. Here's one that I like right here. And let's say that I want to take this and do the whole, and I'm going to do this very quickly. And you should take your time and do a good job when you are working on yours. But I don't want to take a lot of time in this movie, so I'm going to hurry around Iron Man with my lasso, and I'm going to copy that, and I'll come over here to my poster that I'm building. This is my poster, and I'm going to paste it. And actually, I'm not even going to transform that. That looks pretty good. I kind of like the way he's right in the middle, and he's nice and big, and I kind of like the way he's fitting in there. It looks pretty good. Now, I got to clean up the edge, so I'd have to come down here to this Add Layer Mask button. Remember when we did that with Barney? Then I got to take a black paintbrush, B for brush, and get a black paintbrush, and I'm going to make that brush a little bit bigger. And I'm really going to be kind of sloppy here because I'm just trying to show you the main idea. This is where you want to take your time and do a careful job, zoom in, and because your poster is going to look much better. See, I just chopped off part of his head. Your poster is going to look much better if you are careful and you take your time and you pay attention to some details, and you'll come up with something good if you do. If you're sloppy about it, it's not going to look any good. Alright, so I'm just, okay, so you get the idea there. I didn't do a great job of that, but I did a layer mask, and that counts as one of the things you got to do. You have to have 3 layer masks. So as I continue to build this, I can go click File and click Open and bring in another picture of Iron Man, and I could lasso. I just get carried away. I just like doing this. I could lasso, and I could copy that and bring it over to my poster here, and I could paste it in, and I could transform it a little bit. Maybe I want to tilt that some and bring it up here and double click, and then I'd have to do a layer mask on that and get my black paintbrush again and clean up around the edge like I did before. And again, I'm going really fast here, and this is terrible, 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 terrible. But I'm just trying to remind you of how this should be done. See, that's awful. That is so very bad. So very bad. But you're starting to get the idea that this is how you build these posters, and this is really how graphic artists do it. So I would continue to put elements in here, and I have to have some text in there, and I have to keep working on it until I get all the requirements in there. You have to have at least a total of 4 pictures. Your background counts, and then 3 others on top of that. Of course, you can't have more than 4. You got to have some text on it. When you get all done, when everything's good, you go to File, you go to Save As, you make sure you're on your network drive, and you just call it Poster, P-O-S-T-E-R. And that is what this project is all about. You got a couple of days to do it, and make something you like. Gosh, don't just slap something together just because it's an assignment and you have to do it. Make something that you like, and you can even print these out when you're done if you want to keep one. So folks, that's it. Let's go to it. Let's hit it.